when you are looking at Burkina Faso, it's no longer a Sahelian project. It is now an African project because Africans have had enough. Africans are tired. You cannot keep taking our natural resources and tell us that the highest royalty paid to any nation in Africa on their natural resources is 5%. 5, Garland, 5% royalty. How did I know? The former president of Gambia, Yahya Jammeh, was kicked out of office by the West because he said, I am not taking 5% royalty on the natural resources that are in the land of my fathers. They say, why? He said, how can you give me 5% royalty? Are we not supposed to have an agreement on how this is done? Are you not supposed to come into partnership and tell me what you bring to the table? I'll tell you, okay, I own this, you take this, I take that. No, you don't have that right if you are in Africa. They told him, Mr. President, you should be happy because the 5% we're offering you, there are only 3 countries in Africa that have up to 5%. The rest are lower. So Garland, we have less, which is why the president, the wife of the president of Sierra Leone, sitting president, was complaining. If she just complained recently, the video went viral, and she was saying to everyone that, listen, we are given 0.0001% royalty on the gold. You know, Sierra Leone is a gold coast. It's a gold coast. But if you visit Sierra Leone today, it's like a shithole. Pardon my language. Sierra Leone is a shadow. It's not even, you can't even find where to put your feet. So backward, so messed up, so devastated economically. But if you imagine if the gold in that country was being nationalized the way Africa, Ibrahim Traore is nationalizing the wealth of his country right now. Everybody from Sierra Leone would have been living so big, you won't see any one of them going to queue for visas to travel anywhere. This is what is happening to countries in Africa. And this is why every African diasporan must pay attention and must back what is happening in the Sahel. Because if we can consolidate and hold down what has happened in Sahel, many more victories will roll in. If we let them touch any one of those guys, we are done. Psychologically, they will weaken us. And you won't see any revolution anywhere again. But thank God for the gift of Russia in times like this. I believe that the rivalry, or not even the rivalry, the animosity between Russia and the West was created by heaven so that we can have our freedom. So that's why today it is not easy for them to take him out like they would have before. He wouldn't even have lasted 2 years in power. He's been there for more. And so much is happening in Burkina Faso.
You know, I knew when I heard him first say, I didn't know much about him. And then the first thing I read, I was reading, and he said, you know, he was in Russia and they had, it was like an Africa summit. And various African leaders were saying things. And when what he said was, what, they were asking for help and things like that. And what he said was, why are we going around the world begging when we're so rich? And I knew, man, this guy's looking at this thing as something different. He's not looking at it as we're weak and we have to ask everybody for help. And what he recognized the strength of Africa and said, we have to exercise our strength. We are not poor. We are not beggars. And the vision of him, he's a big, strong guy. You know, you look at him, he's a big, strong guy, and he wears his military uniform, you know, the uniform of armed struggle. And the way he talks is, it's not anger, it's confidence. It's strength. And as soon as you hear him, you say, yeah, that guy, he means business. And he's not weak. He's not begging. He's not asking. He's saying, we have a right to this and we will have it.
Yes, because, you know, Garland, passion is infectious. When you see passion, no one explains it to you. You can feel it. It's very infectious, very relatable. When you see Ibrahim Traore, the reason we call him an archetype is because he is an embodiment of all the cries and the weeping and the pains of Africa. He's not the only one in the Sahel. Remember, The revolution began in Mali. And we have to give it up for that brother in Mali who held it together until Burkina Faso then happened. And then you had Niger Republic. It was the motivation of Mali. It was Mali that motivated this Burkina Faso, that inspired Burkina Faso to happen. And Burkina Faso inspired Niger Republic to happen. And the three of them are now inspiring many other revolutionaries and revolutions that are breeding right now, that are sitting in different parts of Africa. There are so many more that are going to fall in. Mark my words. In no distant time, you're going to see many more African countries. And that is the essence of making sure that Ibrahim Traore is protected. Ibrahim Traore only just happens to be the one that has been singled out as the poster child for what God is about to do on the continent of Africa. He's not the only one, but he has been singled as a sign. When I made a particular video I put out some time ago, I said, Ibrahim Traore is the sign from God. A single human being that became a sign of an entire revolutionary process. That's who he has become. So when you hear him speak, you will feel it. You will see it coming. You can feel the fire in his bones. And he's very calm and calculated. He knows exactly that our time has come. They said you cannot defeat an idea whose time has come. How can you defeat it? This idea has been there. It's been there for so many years. And many of our forefathers died hoping and believing that this day will come. But eventually, it pleased God that it will happen in our own lifetime. And it is happening right now. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. That is why, Garland, can you believe it? You think it's fake news? More than 18 to 20 assassination attempts on Ibrahim Traore. All of them failed. And I can bet you today, he is not the only one they're trying to take out. You can imagine how many assassination attempts Assimi Goïta of Mali has also endured. You can imagine how many that Chiani of Niger Republic has also endured. But now they are targeting Ibrahim Traore because Burkina Faso is now the place, like the headquarters of the AES nations, the Sahel states that have broken with the colonial powers. So Burkina Faso is the security headquarters for them. That's where almost everything is coordinated from. So they want to target and destroy this one that has come out as the symbol of the revolution, so that the moment they do it, every other person will be psychologically incapacitated. And the rest of Africa will crawl back into their cocoons, crawl back into their shells and say, well, I said it before, we are never going to be free. We are not meant to be free. A lot of Africans already believe that we are not meant to be free from the colonial powers. That's why you have puppets all over the place. Puppets giving their whole life to serve the colonial powers in the 21st century. Garland, these are our brothers because they are cowards. They have given up. They no longer believe that miracles are possible to happen on the continent. They gave up hope. That's why. So the colonials used them. Look at Cameroon. Look at so many parts of Africa. Leaders, so-called leaders in power for generations. And France is so happy. And yet General Michael Langley is coming to tell us that the problem of the world is Ibrahim Traore that just came to power in 2022. But you have the guy in Cameroon and in different other parts of Africa who have done decades in power, nothing but tyranny on their people. And then allowing France and colonials to steal all the money and take them away. That's all they've done. Nobody cares about the people who are dying and languishing in poverty. But the one man who has come out with his brothers in the Sahel region to say, enough is enough. Africa belongs to Africans. We don't want to exist alone as Africans. We want to do business. We want to be partners with every other person, but it has to be a win-win. You cannot make it a win-lose in favor of the colonials on something that belongs to me. No, enough is enough.